Hi, this is Justin from Whiting Services Heating and Air Conditioning. Today we will be replacing a gas regulator valve on this Goodman furnace. We'll also be replacing a thermostat. We were here yesterday and discovered that thermostat was not sending a signal to the furnace to run, and also gas regulator valve was not working. We were here on a seasonal maintenance and discovered this stuff. Looks like the homeowner is actually selling the property and they have an inspection coming up. So good thing that they called us before the inspector came out. We do provide inspection and certifications on residential and commercial equipment. Okay. So what we're going to do here is replace the gas valve, and I have another one right here. So it's like that. So in order to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to remove these 4 screws, and we're gonna undo this union, and then at that point the valve along with this pipe and burner rail will all be loose, and it can be removed. We'll have to spin this little drip leg area off, and then at that point we'll be able to take the whole thing out, and then we will remove the rail off the valve. We'll remove this pipe off of this valve, and we'll reinstall them onto the new valve, and then put it back in, put our drip leg back on, reconnect our union and our 4 screws, reconnect our wires, and then at that point this furnace will fire up. So first things first, make sure our gas is off first, huh? Okay, now we're going to remove this drip leg and T. This way. Okay, do that right there, and then take out these bolts. Little grounding wire there. Gotta remember to put that back in. Definitely want to put all your bolts off to the side, screws, because you put them down here, you start kicking them around, they fly up over there, and now you're digging in your box for a new one. Okay. Now, what we want to do is spin these two off the valve, and when we put them back on the new valve, make sure that they're pretty much in the same orientation. This one's pretty easy because it's just one piece here, one piece there, but sometimes you get ones and you got 90s flying off going this way. You know, you got to orient them basically the same, or else you're gonna have to adjust it once you're trying to get it back in there. Alright, so we're gonna do let's see if this will work. Nope. They don't always go easy. Sure if I can get that. No. Let's see if that nipple's going to come out of there. Get that in there? No. Okay. Okay. We got our new valve. And if you can see, it says right there, in. That's going to be our gas pressure in. And there's always an arrow on here too, showing the direction of flow. So that's our in. I got some Mega-Lock. It's my favorite one. There are some that are out there that are better and more expensive. This stuff is great. Okay. In. Okay. So we're going to want it like that. Okay. Pretty good right there. Okay. Pretty good. Sometimes once you get it in there, you gotta make some adjustments. But I'm gonna put the pipe on there super tight. You know, some guys will wanna, crank it around to get it as tight as possible, but one, you don't need to do that, and two, it makes it very difficult getting it back off of there. Sometimes you can damage things doing that. Pretty close. Make sure you get each of those little nozzles in there. That way nothing gets messed up. If you don't get them inside the little hole, then gas is just gonna go wherever and it can cause a big fire. So make sure it's in there. Make sure you don't pinch any wires back there like that one. I don't want that to happen. Looks okay. I think it's all right. I'll put our T and drip leg back on. Always back up your wrench because if you're turning on it like this, you know, it puts a lot of stress down here and you don't want to end up damaging anything. You know what? I don't think about it. I didn't put a little ground wire on. Uh-oh. Too tight. Thought I had a Staycom with a little eye loop, but I don't see it. It's okay. Come on, baby. There we go. That's good. All right. Like I was saying, make sure you back up your wrench when you're putting on your T over here because it can put undue pressure in here. And you know, different heaters are designed differently, and sometimes they may not have a rail, you know, that can kind of take a little bit of torque. You end up really damaging something. You don't want to do that. So always back up your wrench when you're putting these on. I was working on a C-Pack unit once. It was like package terminal, through the wall type units, and replacing a gas valve, I believe. Yeah. And I was replacing that gas valve and taking the rail off the valve, and the rail actually sheared right off. Like it just tore right off and left the threads inside the valve. So when that happens, you're pretty screwed. You end up having to, you know, get a new rail from the manufacturer. Luckily, We had an extra unit that wasn't being used and that we kept for spare parts just laying around, and I was able to get the rail off of that and get the unit up and running. But you know, when you're out on the street, you're going to be trying to get another rail and you're not getting that unit back up and running if that happens. So I'm always real cautious because of what happened when I'm taking this one off. Okay, pop these back on. This gas valve's really old, but still working, not leaking. We see these leak a lot, and when they do, you can kind of tighten that little nut back there to stop the leak sometimes, but we typically replace them as much as possible. In this situation, the owner's trying to do as little as possible because this house is already under contract and ready to sell. Alright, now at this point, I'm going to go upstairs and jump out the thermostat. Use some of these jumpers that I just got. This thermostat doesn't work. And we're going to replace that in a few minutes. So our thermostat jumped out. If we did a good job, it should light up. If you listen to that combustion fan, that is the sound of a combustion fan, or inducer motor fan. This guy here. That's the sound of a fan that doesn't have much more lifespan left in it. You can hear those bearings are kind of loud and squeaky. So that'll be the next part to go on this furnace. And you can see we got flame up and running. Looks good. Next, we're gonna go replace the thermostat. Blower's running good. We put a rescue fan motor for the blower in this unit 2 years ago. Somebody was in here really messing with the original motor, which I guess was having problems, and so we had to do a little bit of troubleshooting, wiring and stuff. We got the new motor in and it ran okay. You can see the filter is not the best. Really should have an external filter rack. We'll see if the inspector hits him on that when he comes through. All right, let's go get this in.